Hey Flosstube, it's Katie the Stash Queen coming to you on this Monday, May the 9th. I hope everyone had a wonderful stitchy week, and if you did celebrate Mother's Day this past weekend, I hope everyone had a lovely Mother's Day. It was a very busy week for us. We had not only Mother's Day yesterday, my mother-in-law was in town this weekend. My son's birthday was on Saturday. It was a very wild and crazy weekend. I need a day today to recover, but David is homesick today. Makes it even better, right? So, I did get a lot of stitching done. Met most of my goals for this week, so I'm happy. So let's go ahead and get started. Start as always with my Q&A. Got a few questions this week. First one is from KTJ Amlex. Do I always stitch over two with two strands? Some of your stitching looks daintier than that. Not always. Generally, as a general rule, yes. My skin on my Mirabilias and my Joan Elliots are usually done 1/1. There are a couple of pieces that I have that are on 32 count where I'm using one strand. And like I have my one, the one that I use for my one Hade from Flames of Desire that is 1/1 10 stitch on whatever count that it's on, so it looks even tinier. But as a general rule, I usually do 2/2. Delaney Hardy said, your year of starts just boggles my mind. Did you plan out all of your starts for the whole year, or are you planning them month by month, week by week? I planned them out at the end of last year. October, November, I pretty much planned out the entire year. I have lists and plans for the rest of the year already in my notes on my computer. I kit them up month by month, and of course things change if a pattern comes out that I just absolutely have to figure out a place to do it in my rotation. But I have starts planned until the end of the year. So I definitely had to do it that far in advance, or else I probably would have gotten way too overwhelmed by this point, to be honest with you. Catherine Cones asked if for my Hades, do I still use a hoop or do I use a frame? I use a hoop. I don't own a frame. My normal hoop is a 10-inch hoop. I use that for everything. I use it for my Hades. I use it for my regular pieces. I have my one tree skirt that will come up in here probably in a couple weeks that is bigger than any of my Hades as far as fabric goes that I use a hoop on. I'm just more comfortable with the hoop. Sleepy Kitty Stitches had some questions about hand-dyed fabric. She said that she had looked on the website for one of the fabrics, the Tintigale fabric, I believe is what it was, and it looks darker and mine looks more pink. She's never ordered hand-dyed fabric online, and she's wary of buying the wrong thing because it's pretty expensive. Does my video show color true to life? Sometimes, depends on the day. Today it's even looking a little bit darker on my screen right now. So let me see if I can fix that a little bit, because it could just be, that's a little bit better on my end. But it's also rainy outside, and this room doesn't have natural lighting, so sometimes it looks truer to life than others. How much variation is there usually from piece to piece when ordering online? It depends on what you order. Different fabrics take take the same color differently. Every hand-dyed fabric provider will tell you that. How it looks on a 32 Joblin looks different than a 28 Joblin, looks different than a 16 Ada, looks different on a 32 Belfast. As far as asking for what specifically you are looking for, which is kind of what the rest of the questions were about asking for specific things, the best thing for you to do is to contact the dyer and say, this is what I'm looking for. Which fabric do you think would offer it best? Because, you know, if you're looking for certain, I'm not a hand-dyed fabric dyer, so just from my experience, Belfast usually takes things darker than Joblin. But if you don't like Belfast, then you're going to have to talk about other things with Joblin or whatever else. The hand-dyed fabric people that I have worked with, and those that I haven't but have interacted with in other capacities, like through groups and stuff, have all been very nice and all willing to answer questions. So the best thing to do would be to go to their websites or their Facebook groups, ask them questions, and they should be able to get back to you. Just remember that what you see on the website is usually one sample of one type of fabric. It may not be what I'm showing you, what anyone else is showing you, what you're even looking to order. So before you buy anything, if you need some specific questions answered, ask the dyer. Firecracker Projects asked, when I finish my Pinkie Pie into a magnet, will I do some overcasting on the edges to hide the plastic, or will you leave the plastic visible? I haven't really kind of decided yet. I'm going to cut it down the same way I cut down on perforated paper pieces, which is right to the edge. So I probably won't do any casting over it. It'll just be a tiny little edge of plastic, but we'll see what happens when I do it. Solar Stitches said, since you stitch every day, since you do a different whip every day in alphabetical order, and next year you'll have over 400-ish, if you kept up with that rotation, it'll be over a year to go through. What are you planning to do that different, maybe 2 or 3 whips a day? Well, I don't know if I'm actually going to have over 400 whips when we get to the end of the year, because if you recall, I have pieces like my Prairie Schooler alphabet that's going to count as 27 starts for 26 letters of the alphabet plus the and symbol. That's 27 starts that I'm counting in the year of starts. It's one piece in my rotation. My year of celebrations is 12 starts. It's one piece in my rotation. My classic Christmas countdown is 12 starts, 12 or 10 starts. It counts as one piece in my rotation. So, and I'm also going to be working on finishing pieces through the rest of this year. So I haven't really decided yet how I'm going to do things next year. Garrett and I haven't sat down to figure out the stitch-alongs for Stitch Mania next year yet. We'll do that at some point this summer. I don't know how many pieces I will actually physically have at the end of the year, because some of them are going to get, I'm going to get more finishes before the end of the year, I am sure. So, and I don't know what other plans I'm going to do. As far as any other new starts, if I plan on doing any new starts next year, or what I'm going to do. So we'll wait and see what happens, but just remember that not every start that I do is a brand new start, or is a separate piece in my thing, because like I said, between year of celebrations, that's 12, 27, so that's 39 new starts right there. With the Prairie Schooler, another, I think it's 10 starts for the Classic Christmas Downtown. That's 49 starts. My teacup collection is another 12, so you're past 60 at that point. So it's, that's one reason why I did some of the starts the way I did them. Then the last thing, I had a couple of questions in regards to how much money I have spent this year. I am not going to tell you guys how much money I spent. I don't feel it's necessarily something that anyone needs to know. I do spend money on this craft. How much is between me and my husband and my pocketbook. This isn't a craft to keep up with the Joneses. I purchase what I am comfortable in purchasing, what my husband and my budget is comfortable in allowing me to purchase. Remember, I also have been collecting stash for years. I don't, like the fabrics that I am showing you guys, I've had almost all of them already in my stash. I haven't bought really any fabrics beyond white this year. It's all already been in my stash because I've been collecting this stuff for years, and I'm just now starting to use it. Some people can spend more on this hobby than others can. Some people are in different financial situations than others are. It's not a contest to see how much you can spend. Don't spend more than you're comfortable in doing. I don't spend more than me and my husband and my budget have determined I'm allowed to spend. For me, it may be more than other people, but I'm not going to answer questions about how much money I spend. So I had a couple of those this week. I've had a couple of them in the past. I'm just saying now I'm not going to answer those questions. So on that note, those are all my questions for this week. So as always, if anyone has any other questions for me that aren't money related, feel free to put them in the comments below, and I'll be happy to answer them next week. Okay, week in review. Like I said, it was a busy week this week. My monthly stitch-alongs. First off, the Magical Creatures Challenge stitch-along. I didn't get as far as I necessarily wanted, but I got started, which is what's important. Here's the start of May, and as you guys recall, this is being done on 32 Opal Belfast in Diva from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, using flosses and silks from Mo's Sale. So there's the start of May, the little wizard body, and there's my little minder for minding my minders, and here's the whole piece as it stands right now. So I'll work some more on May this week. My goal this week was to get through all of my Sal pieces, to at least have them touched and made a little progress on, and I did do that, so I was happy. Then the next one is the Postcards from the World from Clouds Factory. This month we are in New Delhi. I am doing this on 32 Joblin and Ice Goddess from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, using flosses and silks from Mo's sale. And I got the frame for New Delhi done this past week. I am doing that one in Versace, or I did it in Versace, and I was happy with how the colors came out. So this week I will focus on working on the interior. I already plan on removing one of the birds so I can do the postmark for New Delhi like that's in the other frames. I don't think it looks right not having the postmark in it, but I don't think I'll make any other major changes to the design besides that. And I've seen a few others who have done that and it looks fine removing that one bird. So then the next one, okay, Pumpkin Passport by Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. This month it is Greece, Santorini area. I'm doing this on 28 Joblin and Ice Goddess from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie, using flosses and silks from Mo's sale. Now, before I show this, they at the Greece piece this month. I've been to Greece. We went to, that was one of the 10-day trips we did as a class when I was in Rome when I was in college. But we didn't spend a lot of time on the coast. We didn't go to Santorini and all of those coastal towns. We went to places like Athens and Delphi and Mycenae and a lot of the places that are historic. So Greece to me is a lot more, I think the coast buildings for Santorini with the white, with the blue, they're gorgeous. And that's what the majority of this pattern this month looks like. We didn't see donkeys in Greece where we were. The donkeys are a lot more popular on the islands and on the coastal lines. Donkeys had absolutely no connection to me for Greece for when I went there. And I want a little bit more of the ruins and classic ancient Greece rather than just the coastline. So I didn't get a lot of progress done on this week, but I am partially, for my Whovianizing of the pattern, I am replacing the donkey with a horse from my favorite episode, one of my favorite episodes. The boy on top of it's going to be the 10th Doctor when I get to him. And then I've got a couple other changes planned. I don't know how many Whovianizing portions I'm going to do beyond changing the horse or the donkey to a horse and making the boy the 10th Doctor. But I do have some other pattern changes that I'm going to make. So we'll see what else I do this month. But here's where we are at this point. As you can see, I have changed the colors of the donkey to be more of a gray for the horse that I am calling to. So we will see how that all works out. But that just wasn't Greece to me like that. So I'll have some of the Santorini buildings in there. But I'm thinking of taking off part of the Santorini buildings and making the Acropolis from Athens. And I think there's part of the pattern that lends itself to that very well. But we will wait and see. I will work more on that this week as well. Focus for a finish. My focus for a finish piece right now is the Mediterranean from Dimensions. Mediterranean flavors, pardon me, from Dimensions. And I did make some progress on it this week. I got the black of the bottle done and some more of these black for the olives and all that. So slowly making progress, but you can tell there's not a ton left that actually has to be done on this pattern. It's really not. So we'll work on it some more. Then for my flossable stitch along, I've got the Easter Fairy from Mirabilia. Oops. And I am doing her on 32 Joblin and Seahorse Shores from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And I worked more 1/1 skin of the other arm this week. So yay skin. And I have my little Tinkerbell needle minder from Michigan Needle Nannies. Lots of stitch alongs. Then, speaking of stitch alongs, the Outlander stitch along we have going on is my electronic sampler through the stones. The link will be below like it is every week. It's by Crown Street Cottage, and I'm doing this on 32 Belfast in Umbriel from Under the Sea Fabrics. And look, I worked on more roof. The roof is coming along. I will be glad when I am done with the roof. And then this is the Jamie needle minder from Minding My Minders. It's like, oh look, guess what I worked on this week? roof. I love the piece as a whole, but there are times for any piece, not just this one, but just in general, when you've got, you know, that big block of color that takes a while, it gets kind of tedious, but that's okay. Then the annual Mania Stitch Along this past week for me was a Brooks Books week, and from the 2010 Just Cross Stitch Ornament issue, I worked on my Madonna and Child, and I reached my goal this week. I have finished the Madonna and Child insert, the circle part in the center. All the back stitching's done, all the stitching's done. Yay! Isn't that pretty? And then I started on the first of the leaves. Oh, can't really see. I'm trying to figure out so you can actually see a little bit better through it. So I started on the first of the leaves, and I have several leaves that I have to stitch. But then clearly I'm not cutting this out until I've got the leaves done and I can put everything together. But that made me happy. That was my goal, was to finish up the stitching for this week. So it's kind of a mini finish. We'll get back to the leaves when this one comes back up again. Then May the 4th was the Star Wars Stitch Along this week. And I did one piece that was in my year of starts, which I'll get to in a little bit. But I had this piece pulled out for a whip, and I didn't get to it as a whip this week, but I wanted to work on it for May the 4th. And it is my Princess Leia from Fangirl Stitches, which I will put a link to below. It's on 28 Joblin and Cosmos from Under the Sea Fabrics. I worked on it a little bit that day on May the 4th just to put some more progress into it. So there are my Princess Leias so far. And my Princess Leia needle minder that I don't remember where I got it from. They don't have eyes, so it's a little creepy. But they've got more bodies, which is good. But I'm going to keep this out because I didn't get to it as a whip this week. Year of starts. I made it through all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 starts this week. I did them all. First one was my 1920s Flapper by Joan Elliott. And she is being done on 32 Joblin in Siren Noir from Under the Sea Fabrics. And here was where I got to at this point. Just a little start. And I've got my pinup Tiana needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. Then the next one was my Cotton Reels Wreath, which is from World of Cross Stitching issue number 239. And I'm doing that one on 32 Lugana in Fog from Picture This Plus. And here's where I got to. Worked on that. Started at the top, started working on that top spool. And I have a blingy floss needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. And so you can't start in the middle when the wreath is empty in the middle. So I started at the top. And I'll work our way around. And I will be doing backstitching as I go along. But my rule for backstitching is every cross stitch, quarter stitch, fractional stitch, whatever has to be completed around wherever I'm backstitching. I'm not going to backstitch and then go and do an X next to where I backstitched, if that makes sense, because it screws up the way the backstitching looks if you ask me. So an entire little section needs to be done before I will backstitch any of that, which is why I usually wait until the end, but that piece I think would drive me nuts to wait to the end. So anyway, ramble over. Next one was my Sunday Morning Sunrise, which is from Cross Stitch and Needlework May 2014. And I am doing that one on 32 Joblin in Tulip Sunrise from Under the Sea Fabrics. And here's where I got to. Start a little bit on, see it's bright, but more true to life here, but a little bit of the house or the front porch. And I've got the Celtic Cross Needle Minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. Then the next one was an electronic pattern that I'll put a link to below. It was Zelda from Pixel Power Design, which I am doing on 28 Jobelan a solo die from Silk Weavers. And here I started on Link, and there's my stained glass needle minder, or stained glass Zelda needle minder from Minding My Minders. But I think this is going to look really good color-wise with all those characters, so yay! Then the next one was on May the 4th. And it was also an electronic pattern. And it was my Amidala trio from Fangirl Stitches, which I'll put a link to below. And I'm doing it on 28 Jobelan in Winterfell from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here's where I started. What, honey? Just a second. There's my Amidala. Okay. Pause, I'll be right back. Sorry about that. Where was I? Amidala Trio by Fangirl Stitches. Here is where I was able to get to. This is on 28 Jobelan in Winterfell from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. So got a good portion of the red done on Amidala in her first costume. And look, it's Amidala in the same costume from Minding My Minders. Then the next one I had was from my Best of Teresa Winsler Fantasy Collection book. And it is Night. And I am doing her on 32 Belfast and Hamlet from Under the Sea Fabrics. And here is where I got to. Which direction does this go? It goes this way. So, and that's blended threads. There's like 45 different blended threads in this piece. So it's a start. And I've got the little Nighttime Castle Carnival needle minder from Minding My Minders. Then the next one, it's electronic pattern, but I can't show it to you because it's just the pattern. It's the freebie from Glendon Place, the Friendship Compass that I am doing on 20 count white Lugana, and I'm using threads that I got from Stitchy Box. And here is where I got to. It's really purple, pretty purple thread from Fiberlicious that I used for this part so far. And I've got a little Gemini needle minder from Minding My Minders. So just a cute little start. Then the next one that I started was my Summer Patchwork, which is from World of Cross Stitching issue number 219. And I am doing that one on 32 Lugana in Summer from Picture This Plus. And here's where I got to some of the green of the flower basket. Easier to see back here. It's a bright yellow fabric. And then I have the little lollipop needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. Then my next one, lots of starts. This week there won't be as many. Just a normal week in the year of starts this week. Anyway, was my Edwardian Lady number 1. She is from World of Cross Stitching number 238. And I am doing that one on 32 Belfast and Buttercup from Under the Sea Fabrics, doing both of them on the same piece actually. So here's where she started, as just some of those flowers in the bouquet that she is holding. And I've got my little chandelier needle minder from Minding My Minders. And then the last of my new starts, this in here, was from Little House Needleworks. It's Home of a Needleworker 2. And I'm doing that one on 28 Jobelan and Vanilla Latte from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And here is where I got to. Start working on the house. So just made some progress on the house. And I have the blingy blue floss needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. So those were all of my starts. Year of Starts, Stitch Mania, which let me just say, it has been so much fun watching everyone doing all of their starts or their whips or their rotations or however they're doing Stitch Mania. I have seen so many gorgeous pieces that I have never seen before. The enthusiasm is infectious. It is just so awesome to watch and to go in and to look at all of the posts every day, because the posts just are insane with how many that we are seeing come through every day. So everyone who's participating in Stitch Mania, you are awesome. I'm loving it. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am, because it's just so much fun. Whips for the week. I did get through 3 different whips this week. First one was Plum Pudding by Glendon Place. And I am doing that one on 28 Lugana in Whimsy from Picture This Plus. Made some good progress on it this week. I finished, let's see here, I finished this motif, and started that one. So, yay! Maybe it was this motif and that motif. But I finished it, so there's now 4 and 3 complete motifs, and started the new motif. This is back here. Fabric's a little bit easier to see the purple. Then the next whip I was able to work on, I got some time in on my Prairie Schooler alphabet, and I was working on the letter A, which is this one right here. A is for anchor. And get that up there, pattern, stay there. And I was going to show that portion. I'm not going to show the entire piece off right now. I'll do that when I pick this next up for the next year starts picture. But here is A. I was able to finish off the full block and then started filling in. So it looks a little bit more complete now. There's the start of B next to it. So this one's going to take a while. But this is one piece in my rotation that has 27 starts in it for the year of starts. So goes back to my earlier discussion. And then the last whip that I was able to get to this week, it's an electronic pattern. I'll put a link to it below. It was Pretty Little Barcelona by Satsuma Street. And I am doing this on 28 Cashel and Ocean Fancy from Silk Weavers. And here is where I was able to get to at this point. I was happy with the progress. Love the colors. And I have my little tree needle minder from Minding My Minders. So that was my progress this week. I'm pretty happy with all of it. Let's go ahead and look at what I've got planned for this upcoming week. My monthly stitch-alongs, I'll keep working on the Magical Creatures calendar. I will keep working on postcards. I will keep working on my passport. I'll keep working on the Mediterranean Flavors by Dimensions, the Flosstube stitch-along, Outlander stitch-along is 30 minutes every Saturday, so next Saturday I'll pick it up again. My annual Mania stitch-along for this week, for me, it's a Chatelaine week, and it's going to be the Tuscany Town Mandala. And I'm doing that one on 32 Lugana in Chime from Picture This Plus. Let's show you guys where I was when we last left off. I had started working on this top flower bed over here, so I'll continue probably working on that this week. And I've got the little crown needle minder from Minding My Minders, but here's the whole piece at this point. So yeah, my focus will be working on this. We'll see what I get to this week. Then, Year of Starts, because the monthly Mania Stitch Along is obviously Stitch Mania. This is just going to be from now until Saturday, so it's only going to be 6 starts for the rest of this week. And then next Sunday I'll get back to my normal recording schedule and all that. So first one for this week, it's from 365 Cross Stitch Designs, and this is the 2013 issue of it. And it is Cross Stitch Angel by Joan Elliott, because I don't have enough Cross Stitch Angels and I don't have enough Joan Elliott's. And I am doing that one on 28 Joblin in Fairy Flight from Under the Sea Fabrics. And my minder is going to be a clear bobbin needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. Then, so that'll be today's start. Then the next one I have is Kaleidoscope Flower from Sampler Cove. And I will be doing this one on 28 Joblin in Circe from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. And I'm going to be using Margarita Floss from Moe's. And I'll show you that in a second. But here's the fabric. Dark blue, royal blue. It's not showing nearly as blue as it is in the picture because my lighting's not good today. And this is the floss I'm going to use on it. This is the first dye lot of Margaritaville, and I have several skeins of it, so I'm going to use this for the flower. And then I have my little Sadness needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies because she's blue. Not because this piece makes me sad, just because she's blue. Then the next one that I have is my Year of Celebrations from Cross Stitch and Needlework, and we do it starting May. Just that one right there. And this entire series is being done on 32 Belfast in Autumn from Under the Sea Fabrics. So here's where we are at this point with this. We've got January, February, March, and April all started. So I'll pull over from April and start May. And my minder is cleverly disguised as an adult from Minding My Minders. Then the next one that I have is a kit from Jamlin. It's the Coffee Chalkboard. And it's just a kit that comes with Black Ada. And I'll be using my Starbucks needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. Probably switching out the floss to B5200 rather than using what they gave me, but we'll see. Then the next one from Just Nan is called Needle in a Garden. Let me read it. It says, plant the stitches, mark each row, train the vine, scare the crow, rip the weeds, watch it grow. And I will be doing that one on 28 Joblin in Tintagel from Hand-Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. I might have to cut it down. I don't know yet. I'll have to measure it when I get ready to start. And my minder is this really pretty key needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. Specialty stitches. Yay! Lots and lots of specialty stitches. I'll show you this because it's not the actual chart. It's just the specialty stitches and the instructions on how to do a lot of them. We've got smear and across, grapevine wreath, sprat stitch, small flower, diamond eyelet, butterflies, bug stitch, round eyelet, large flowers, two-color herringbone, satin cushion petals, and crossed rice rose. So yeah. Then my last new start for this week is an electronic pattern. I'll put a link to it below. It's the Leonardo da Vinci Mini Artist from Clouds Factory. And I'm going to be doing that one on 28 Joblin in Twilight Mist from Witchelt, which is a piece that I got from one of my stitchy boxes. Pretty blue, gray, white. And I have the blingy Eiffel Tower needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. So those are all the new starts for this week. I have pulled 6 whips. 5 of them were in my video last week, so I'll go through them real quick. First 2 are both electronic patterns. We've got Pretty Little Chicago from Satsuma Street that I'm doing on 28 Cashel in Ocean Fancy from Silk Weavers. And here is where I got to on that one, or I started, starting point for this week. And it's Apparently Common Sense Isn't That Common from Minding My Minders. And then the next one is also from Satsuma Street. It's Pretty Little Washington, D.C., which I'm doing on 32 Belfast in Shimmering Seas from Under the Sea Fabrics. And here is where that one is at this point. And I have my House of Cards needle minder from Minding My Minders. Then the next one is going to be Pretty Parasols from the World of Cross Stitching, issue number 224. Get them so you can see the whole piece. That one right there. And I'm doing it on 32 Belfast in Misty Morning from Under the Sea Fabrics. Get that up here. Here we go, Katie. There we are. At this point, my little heart needle minder from wherever I got it from. Then the next one is from Soda Stitch. It's the Princess Collection. All those pretty little Disney princesses. Sorry for the glare. I blame the lighting because it's raining outside right now. And that one's being done on 32 Lugana and Zephyr from Picture This Plus. And here's where we are. Got the Little Mermaid that I was working on last time I worked on it, and my Emerald Crown needle minder from Gina's Unique Boutique. And then I've got Princess Leia would be the next one up, which I just showed you guys a little bit ago. So she'll be the next one up in the whip rotation. And then the last one that I pulled for this week, let's get that closed, is Pumpkin Swirl by Glen & Place, another one of my Year of Starts pieces. And I'm doing that one on 32 Lugana in Cyprium from Picture This Plus. Sorry, had to pop up on my screen. Here's where we were able to get to when I started it. And I've got this pretty autumn tree needle minder from Nifty Needle Nannies. It's a much more brownish orangey fabric in person. It's not really showing up super well on the screen, but so we'll get working on that. So those are my plans for the week. Let's see what I get done. This week, the biggest thing we've got going on this week is today and tomorrow are the standardized testing that my daughter has to do at school. But other than that, I don't have a whole lot planned for this week. So hopefully we'll be able to get some other stuff done. I do have stash positions, just a couple this week. Let me show them off. First one, I got the next pattern for the Country Cottage Needleworks Gingerbread Village. This one is Gingerbread Boy and Snowman. Isn't that cute? And it's a little button, is a little gingerbread boy button that's in there. That's just sweet. Then from Stitchy Box, I have my 1 year Stitchiversary of being a subscriber to Stitchy Box. So Liz wrote me a really sweet card, and then she sent me this awesome needle minder, Stitchy Box Royalty. Woohoo! That's just awesome. And then the last thing that I had was an order from Moe's that I had that she's been sick lately, so I got the order in. Let me show it off real quick. Let's see, I've got, yeah, I haven't wrapped them up yet, but that's okay. I've got 2 TARDIS from her Doctor Who line. Here is a Ravenclaw and another Ravenclaw, so I got 2 of those. You know, I think I got this order. Maybe not. 2 Welsh Greens. This is a sun. And 2 of those. Got another one. See, sun. Then we've got 2 different Rays from her Star Wars line. 2 Hans. And 2 Maccabees. Just gonna ignore the comment that could go there. And that was it. So yeah, that's pretty much what happened. Oh, I forgot to tell you guys. So yesterday was Mother's Day. Happy Everything was my gift to my mom for Mother's Day. And I got I got it professionally framed. It's at my mom's house now, so I can't show it to you guys, but I will insert a picture of it here before the end of the video or at the end of the video so you guys can see what the finished piece looks like. They loved it. She loved it. My dad loved it. My dad wants me to enter it into the state fair. We'll see. I haven't decided yet, but I might. You never know. So, but they were thrilled. They absolutely loved it, and they're going to find the perfect place for it in their new house to display it. So, other than that, like I said, hopefully I get a lot of stitching done this week. I hope everyone else has a wonderful stitchy week. I should be back on Sunday for my normal weekly video now that crazy weekend is over. So I will see you guys next time. Bye!